Here the magnetic attraction does not come from the doctrine or the water, but from the sun, who is symbolized by the serpent, as in John 3:14. Christ is the magnet that draws to itself those parts or substances in man that are of divine origin, the signs of the Father, and carries them back to their heavenly birthplace. The serpent is an equivalent of the fish. The consensus of opinion interpreted the Redeemer equally as a fish and a serpent. He is a fish because he rose from the unknown depths, and a serpent because he came mysteriously out of the darkness. Fishes and snakes are favourite symbols for describing psychic happenings or experiences that suddenly dart out of the unconscious and have a frightening or redeeming effect. That is why they are so often expressed by the motif of helpful animals. The comparison of Christ with the serpent is more authentic than that with the fish, but for all that, it was not so popular in primitive Christianity. The Gnostics favoured it because it was an old established symbol for the good, genius loci, and agathodemion, and also for their beloved nous. Both symbols are of inestimable value when it comes to the natural, instinctive interpretation of the Christ figure. Theriomorphic symbols are very common in dreams and other manifestations of the unconscious. They express the psychic level of the content in question. That is to say, such contents are at a stage of unconsciousness that is as far from human consciousness as the psyche of an animal. Warm-blooded or cold-blooded vertebrates of all kinds, or even invertebrates, thus indicate the degree of unconsciousness. It is important for psychopathologists to know this, because these contents can produce at all levels symptoms that correspond to the physiological functions that are localized accordingly. For instance, the symptoms may be distinctly correlated with the cerebrospinal and the sympathetic nervous system. Scythians may have guessed something of this sort, for Hippolytus mentions in connection with the serpent that they compared the father with the cerebrum and the son with the cerebellum and spinal cord. The snake does in fact symbolize cold-blooded, inhuman contents and tendencies of an abstractly intellectual as well as a concretely animal nature. In a word, the extra-human quality in man.